Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you a brief demo of how to use the Smart Cutout tool. But the first thing I want to tell you is that your layout may look different than mine because I like the old classic view as opposed to the default view, in which case your information is located over here. So if you have difficulty following my instructions, just change to the classic view and then you'll see exactly what I'm doing. But basically all of the tools are available no matter what view you're in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by putting our video down. And I suggested you put it on track 2 because whatever you're going to overlay the person walking is going to be on track 1. And basically all you're doing is you're putting a mask on to cut out everything other than just the person. And that's what we use the Smart Cutout tool for. So I said, let's double click on the media that we have on the timeline. And then you'll see these various choices, and one is the Smart Cutout. Well, basically, you would come up in this view mode here. You would click on AI Tools, and then you would activate the Smart Cutout tools. And to start the actual cutout process, it doesn't matter where you're at on the clip. You should try to select a frame where where the person is mostly visible. That probably will minimize your finessing that you're going to have to do later on. But anyway, we click to start Smart Cutout. And that brings up the tool here for applying the mask to the person. Okay, and you see what I'm waving around here is actually the drawing tool, the pencil or brush tool. And you have the eraser tool if you took too much, and the hand tool when you just want to move the image around. And there are some additional tools. I'm not going to go into all the tools. You can play around with them. But one of them that's going to be important is the brush size, especially when you're working with detail. And right now it's set to fit. You can change it to these things, or you can simply just scroll in and out to get closer in on what you're doing. And you want to change the brush size depending on how much detail you're working on. But the AI actually does a lot for you. So you don't have to be too exact when you're picking out what it is that you want. However, you may encounter that it didn't get everything that you wanted. And you see it did a fairly good job. It's not 100%, but it did a fairly good job. And when we want to get back and detail it, then we're going to change the brush size. We're going to change all of this other, we're going to use all these tools. Now, we've applied a frame, we applied a mask to a single frame. And in order for us to apply that to all of the video clip, we have to go into the advanced mode. And in the advanced mode, you have these play buttons. You have, apply the frame to everything before it. That would be on the left side. Everything in the future, that's everything on the right side. Or the one in the middle, apply it to everything. And these other two buttons will come into use. As you see, we put a little marker on here, a keyframe, so to speak. And you may be that you want to, when you're finessing, you're going to want to just go over that part where it just didn't catch everything. So in this case, this is our first shot. We're going to go ahead and apply it to everything. And it's going to go ahead and go through that clip. And now we've got it. Okay, now what we can do is we can choose one of these other backgrounds here. For example, we can take a look at the okay, again, let's go back to the fit option, and then we play it, and we can see that it's pretty good, but there are things missing. So for example, in here we're going to see, oh wait a minute, the legs and everything is disappearing. Again, we'll toggle back in there, and we can see, oh yeah, the arms didn't get selected here. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out where we're just going to slide along here. We can see, oh, okay, about right here. I think it's because there's some shadows in play here. So again, I'm not going to go through all the detailed finessing. I just want to show you how you can use the tools that are here. So obviously here it's a big advantage for you to make it large because you want to get in a detail. Use the hand tool to center your person, and then go ahead and select your pencil tool again. Now this may be way too much, so we can minimize the brush size a little bit, and we can go ahead and we can get those things that we want. Okay, now we're probably just going to do this in the forward motion here. Okay, again, I can see we didn't catch all of it. We can see that there was some here. Now there are some tools like edge thickness that we can use in order to select more or less overall in case that it's just going a little too thin. But we're not going to do that in this case here. Instead, we could zoom in further, and we could make our brush smaller, and we could just go and this is what I mean by detailing it, however much you want to do. But look at over here, we have more selected, in fact, part of the background, which we don't want. And that's where we would use the eraser. And then we would just go in there and we would highlight the area. This, and the eraser, I found that it's usually best to kind of do a closed loop. Otherwise, you're not going to get it all. And you go into it, make it even smaller. We can get a little bit of this out of here. And then we put our keyframe here, and we'll go ahead and apply it forward. Okay, so basically, and I'm not going to do any more than this because you can easily figure out these tools yourself. Okay, it'll be helpful if I just go back to fit so we can see everything. And we can go and toggle it to like this. And you can then go through and you can figure out which frames need to be further enhanced or finessed so that they do it. But at this point, you can put anything you want underneath. Okay, you have to do a save. At this point, you can put whatever you want on track 1, and this person would be walking on that. And I said that since we're not using the background, and if you're working on a slope or something like that, you could actually now move this around. And let's get back into the basic here. Let's say you wanted the person to be walking downhill or something like that. You could do that as well. So there's all kinds of ways that you can then finesse it in this part. But basically, that's all there to it. It's a very simple process.